This is Real Reviews, and today we're going to look at Shinedown's newest album, Planet Zero. So, Planet Zero is Shinedown's seventh studio album to date, and with this album, they were really inspired by a lot of the current events and trends going on. I'd say not only in America but internationally as well. With things like cancel culture and just the dysfunctional status of society itself, and the struggles and problems people are facing today. So they've decided to approach this album as sort of a concept album with more, I'd say, more of a dystopic sci-fi theme to it, and with that, there's more kind of electronic elements in the music to some degree, and there's even kind of shorter tracks. I think in between the main tracks, the main songs, that sounds like the voice of like a glitchy AI or computer program that plays on that theme that kind of acts as an interlude between each song. So let's start off with the first track on the album, which is called No Sleep Tonight. The song itself kind of plays as sort of an anthem for people who are fed up or feel suppressed by people who try to silence them, which is kind of like a basic reference of the whole cancel culture thing. It's a nice, fast-paced, heavy song. I think, I was surprised by the kind of like the metal sweeping riff and like the bridge, and toward the end of that, it's got an interesting drum fill that's kind of synced with the chugging guitar. But I just think at that part with the drop off, I felt like it lost, I think, a good amount of momentum just when you think it's about to deliver on that consistency. As much as I appreciate the kind of the metal riffing and the bridge and all that, and just the fact that they ended the song with the same hard-hitting section that was there at the beginning, I kind of felt like it didn't really build up or even maintain any energy that was kind of there to begin with. So for the second song on the album, which is the title track, Planet Zero, the song itself is really about anyone who may not say the right thing or may think differently from sort of the new establishment mindset. It talks, essentially about referencing how they are silenced and threatened, and if they're shut down for trying to stand up to it, which is yet again another reference to the whole cancel culture thing. It's got a very interesting sort of descending low-end riff, I think, right toward the end of each verse, right before the chorus. It's got a steady drum beat that I think helps maintain the build-up to that chorus. So overall, it's a pretty good song. So the third song on the album is called Dysfunctional You. It's really just about someone who struggles with personal issues and acceptance from others. I had a nice approach as like sort of a low-key song, but I kind of felt like the sci-fi or sort of the space-themed approach to instrumentation and how that's all sort of synced in with the electronic elements. I kind of felt like it didn't really have much energy to it, and it was just sort of a boring song to listen to. Fourth song on the album is called Dead Don't Die. Lyrically, it's about someone who kind of still remains strong and resilient, after facing so much adversity in their own life. This one's a bit more hard-hitting, that it's consistent with momentum, and it's pretty reminiscent of the kind of sound people would expect from Shinedown. So the fifth song on the album is called America Burning. It speaks to a lot of the destructive things that have been going on for some time now, with things like public rioting and just destruction of property, and even speaks to people who either choose to live in fear of that or just choose to be oblivious and try to carry on with life as it is, not giving any regard to the status of where the country is. It's got an interesting approach to building anticipation for the chorus with a sense of an off-putting atmosphere or off-putting effect to it. But I think it probably becomes a bit too off-putting, I think, in both the verse and the chorus to enjoy, given the vocals that were there at the beginning of each chorus. So number 6 on the album is called A Symptom of Being Human. This song relates to how everyone makes mistakes, and how sometimes people feel like there are aspects about themselves that either seem kind of lacking, maybe compared to the qualities of other people, or there's aspects about themselves that kind of make them feel out of place among other people. It's kind of a catchy acoustic song. It's got sort of a catchy chorus to it as well. I kind of felt like maybe more could have been done with it, as far as like maybe, in the bridge, maybe sort of a kind of a bigger build up, as far as maybe instrumentation, maybe to the last chorus. But, overall, it's an all right song. Song number 7 is called Hope. It's really about how someone should try to consider the enduring qualities about themselves, maybe despite their flaws, and, encourages them to move forward in life. It's a catchy song with a subtle beginning to it, and then consistently kind of has an assertive build up, in I think the chorus and also the bridge. And I think even in the last chorus, it never felt like it went flat or it never kind of lost any energy. So, overall, it's a pretty good song. So, song number 8 on the album is called Clueless and Dramatic. Lyrically, it's about those who are in positions of authority and influence, who are overly sensitive and unstable, who abuse their privileges by deliberately acting in certain ways to make the lives of others more difficult, which is another reference of the whole, cancel culture thing. It's got a nice energy to it. I kind of felt like maybe the vocals jumped in maybe too soon. I think maybe from the first verse, but yet again, I think the rest of the song kind of has kind of a nice hyped energy to it. So song number 9 is called "Sure Is Fun." Lyrically, it's about trying to get the attention of people who willingly choose to be oblivious to the times they're in. Whether they be times of uncertainty or danger. So the whole song itself is kind of like, how do you put it? Like sort of an electro, sort of like a reggae jam. Songs like that you'd kind of expect from a band like 311. Um, it's, I guess it's kind of an interesting approach, but the song itself just really sounds like a lackluster pop song. Um, and it really doesn't have much, like, I'd say, dynamic quality to it. There's no change in like tempo or melody. So it's, yeah, it's might be my least favorite song on the record. And if anything, it sounds like a filler track. So song number 10 is called Daylight. It's meant to be, like an encouraging, uplifting song that offers a message of hope to someone who's struggling with some kind of problem or challenge or difficulty and tries to relate to how, everyone has gone through something. There's one line in the song, if I can remember, I think it goes something to the effect of, "It's amazing what the hard times can reveal, like who shows up, who walks away, and who's for real." I mean, I'm definitely someone who believes in that. It is amazing how I think tough times can reveal who someone is, or what is in someone's heart. It's an uplifting song, I think, with the right kind of set of dynamic moments of a sense of calm, and then it kind of goes to a steady, strong rhythm that really syncs well with how the lyrics express a sense of, like a moment of reflection in someone's circumstances and how they try to overcome that with, like a positive, uplifting attitude. So song number 11 is called "The Saints of Violence and Innuendo." I wasn't really sure. I think when I was listening to the song, I had a general idea of what the lyrics were trying to say, but I think just for the sake of it, to get the right information, I think I looked up an interview with, I think it's Eric Bass, who is the bass player of the band. In this interview he did with this website, and I guess what he said is that he discussed how the lyrics are actually about, I think, the actions or deeds of like kind of the big tech elitists, and how they choose to influence people and try to control what they say. Yet again, another reference to this whole cancel culture thing. So it's another hard-hitting song that's reminiscent of the same kind of energy and sound other songs Shinedown has written in the past. So song number 12 is called "The Army of the Unappreciated." Yet again, kind of like the first song, it's kind of written in a way that's sort of like an anthem, I guess you could say, and it's sort of written expressing to kind of pushing through adversity and overcoming adversity, and then being in celebration of that. It's got sort of an interesting kind of descending melody to it, but I'd have to say it's probably got the least memorable chorus, I think, of any other song I've heard on this album. I think the speaking parts over the drum beat, maybe right before the chorus, I think is just sort of like a filler part. I'd have to say that the kind of shorter guitar solo, maybe in the bridge, definitely gets your attention. But yet again, I just felt like it was a filler track. So track 13, which is the last song on the album, is called "What You Wanted." And I think I looked this up too. I think it was either Eric Bass, the bass player, or I think a different interview for a different website, I think with the lead singer Brent Smith. I think he said that the lyrics were about the oppressive, corrupt establishment and how they use social media to influence people. It's a catchy song, I think, consisting mostly of like a rhythm-driven string ensemble, I guess, with vocals. It sounds more like a rhythm-driven pop song, if anything. But it does stay consistent in a way that there isn't anything like an abrupt change, or there's not like, it goes off in a certain direction that would, kind of make the listener lose interest in any way. Maybe more could have been done maybe toward the end with sort of like a buildup of instrumentation, but overall, it's a pretty nice song. So in summary, it's understandable that bands over time will want to go in different directions with their music. Whether that's with the sound itself or even the lyrics. You can't always assume that your favorite band or a band that you really like will always sound the same forever. And that's definitely true with Shinedown's new album. I remember hearing about Shinedown, I think, when I was younger. I was familiar with their first two albums, Leave a Whisper and I think Us and Them. And I think it was my freshman year of high school when they released The Sound of Madness. And I already knew that they were pretty popular beforehand, but I think when that album dropped, I remember they blew up when it came to popularity. That was really the album that I think really truly put them on the map. I've maybe only heard a few songs off their fourth album, Amaryllis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I've heard maybe one or two songs off Attention Attention, and I think I've only heard maybe the most popular song off their other album, Threat to Survival. So while I'll say there's maybe like two, three good songs on this album, I think I have to be honest. Not only do I think that this is Shinedown's probably least one of their least favorable albums, I'd say it's probably their most underperforming album to date. And I really hate to say that because I like Shinedown, but I got to be honest. I mean, I really like some of the messages that some of these songs have, for sure. I really do. I really do like a lot of the messaging that is uplifting, and just encourages people to persevere in times of difficulty. I really do like the messages, but this one just didn't sell it for me. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my review. If you're ever interested in any other reviews I'll do in the future, not just with music, but with, other things like film and maybe television, including some of the main videos I'll be doing on this channel on very interesting topics. Just be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when there's a new video, and I'll catch you later. I wonder how many times I've said kind of or sort of in this thing. It's probably not a lot.